What's up, everyone? This is CyberKnight, and tonight I have some Yu-Gi-Oh news for you guys. It looks like Yubel is actually finally getting some new support. So yeah, the next set, which I believe is Phantom Nightmare, that's the next set coming out for Japan. So they'll get it around November. I'll open it around that time too. And it'll come out in English, probably be like the first set of next year. So yeah, it's the set basically after Age of Overlord, which yeah, we'll do the opening on this week, so subscribe and all that so you don't miss out. Ring the bell, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna open this up, and yeah, I need to edit and everything, so probably Friday. Anyway, I'm excited to see something new for Yubel. I mean, it's an archetype that I always thought was really cool. I mean, basically the archetype really only had like 3 cards, I feel like, where it was just original Yubel and then the other 2 forms basically. And a lot of nostalgia for me too, because I remember this was like the second sneak preview I ever went to as well, was for Phantom Darkness. So I really think this is cool, and I can't wait to see what else is going to be in this set as well. And I'm really hoping maybe the next set is more of a light set. Maybe we can see something for Sartorius, like redone versions of the Arcana Force or something. I don't know. I liked GX quite a bit, and I like the villains. So, anyway, like and subscribe and all that. I don't make too many Yu-Gi-Oh! News videos these days, but let me know if I should start doing them again, basically, especially when we have cool news like this, and let's just get going, okay? Because we got quite a few cards to talk about. First off, we have Spirit of Yubel, which is level 10 Dark Fiend, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can take one spell or trap card that mentions Yubel and either add it to your hand or set it. I have a friend helping me here. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no damage from battles involving this card. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon one of your Yubel that is banished or in your hand or deck or graveyard. So basically this is a retrain for Yubel, an easier to summon Yubel that, yeah, can help you use the other forms and stuff too. So really cool. I mean, if you don't know the strategy of Yubel, maybe you're kind of a newer duelist or something. Basically with Yubel, it's a monster that can't be destroyed or anything with 0 attack. It doesn't hurt you, but when your opponent's monsters attack it, it does damage to them, of course, too. So you're making your opponent basically hit themselves. So it's an interesting strategy. It's one I feel like we haven't seen too much, and yeah, I'm glad to see basically an easier to summon Yubel that is a retrain. So yeah, you went down. She's like going everywhere lately, so if you hear anything in the background. Then we also have a new Grinder Golem, which is a Geist Grinder Golem. Level 8 Dark Fiend, 3000 attack, 300 defense. Can only be special summoned, you can only special summon this card once per turn. You can reveal one Yubel monster from your hand, special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field, then you can special summon the revealed monster to your field. Once per turn during damage calculation, if this card battles a Yubel monster, your opponent gains 3,000 life points. If you special summon Yubel while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card to your opponent's field. So, basically, again, going with that old strategy, giving yourself a Grinder Golem, or even, you know, you guys might even remember like Lava Golem, you give them a strong monster and like, hey, come on, attack me. And that's pretty much what's going on here. Yubel does that as well in the series, and basically a more themed Grinder Golem. So, pretty interesting on that too. One that maybe won't be such a pain with like link 7 stuff too, because you don't get those tokens. Then we also have Semseo Regenerating Lotus, another older card getting basically a retrain as well. Level 1 Dark Fiend, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use basically all of the effects of this card's name each once per turn. She's looking out the window and meowing at things. Anyway, you contribute this card, special summon one Yubel monster from your deck. During your opponent's turn, when a monster effect is activated while you control Yubel monster, quick effect, you contribute this card, and that effect becomes destroy one Yubel monster on the field. During your end phase, if you control Yubel and this card is in the graveyard, you can take this card and either add it to your hand or special summon it. So basically, again, you have another way to bring out Yubel easily, and also making it so that your opponent will destroy your Yubel monsters, which again is a good thing. You want your opponent to destroy your Yubels so they can evolve to the other Yubel forms, you know, the older forms. So you can still use those too, it looks like, with this new support. So that's why you would want that to happen, and then you get out the big dragon, basically, the final form to Yubel on that too, which might not actually be the final form, as we're about to talk about here in a second. But either way, bring out the stronger Yubel, and there you go. Now here might be the actual final form to Yubel. This is a new fusion, and it's actually in German. I think all their names are in German, basically. And it is Yubel das Ewig Leib Yachter? Yachter? I don't know technically how you pronounce that. I obviously, barely can pronounce English words. How, do you expect me to say German words? Anyway, level 12 Dark Fiend, 0 attack, 0 defense. The materials are Yubel and effect monsters on the field. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each fusion material for its summon. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. If this card battles an opponent's monster at the end of the damage step, inflict damage to them equal to that monster's attack, and if you do, banish it. So this is a better Yubel. This is a really interesting one too. I think this is basically if Yubel won against Jaden, because it looks like a more perfected Yubel where you're kind of seeing the dragon form, the final one, and then, like, original Yubel kind of, like, together with, like, that dragon and everything. It kind of reminds me of Flame Wingman, even, too. I feel like that's almost like a callback on purpose. And I think this is basically if Yubel won. So, because even this card, too, you could tell is hinting at you to use Super Poly. And there's more to that here in a little bit, too. You can tell Super Poly is part of the archetype, because Yubel was trying to get Super Poly and, like, fuse all the dimensions together, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen GX. So, really interesting to see, and a really scary card, too. If you're able to get this off and your opponent has a lot of monsters, you clear their field and everything, get this out, they're going to be in pain, for sure. And, yeah, this is a very powerful card. Then we have Nightmare Pain, continuous spell. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy one dark monster in your hand or face up on the field, and if you do, add Yubel or one card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except Nightmare Pain. While you control any Yubel monsters, all your opponent's monsters, must attack them if able. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving your Yubel monsters instead. So, pretty much this makes sure everything is working like it should with Yubel. It's a searcher, it's a way to get Yubels out there, it's a way to get them to evolve, and a way to make it so your opponent has to attack, and then they take the damage. So, checks all the boxes for you really well, and makes everything work. So, very scary. Then we also have Mature Chronicle, which is basically Spell Chronicle, a redone version, and I think that other one too was like a redone version, but I can't remember the original name. Let me know in the comments. That'll be a little test for you guys. Anyway, another continuous spell. You can only use the second of this card's name once per turn. Each time a Yubel monster and or monster that mentions Yubel is special summoned, place one Chronicle counter on this card. You can remove up to 5 Chronicle counters from cards you control to activate one of these effects. 1 Chronicle counter equals special summon Yubel from your graveyard. 2, add one of your banished cards to your hand. 3, banish one card from your deck. 4, destroy a card on the field. And 5, add 1 Super Polymerization from your deck to your hand. Yeah. Spell Chronicle originally, I believe, in the anime, once it got all its counters, was going to make it so Yubel got Super Poly. So now it actually makes sense. I think, like, the older card was basically to look for a spell card. It wasn't specific, I don't think, and it wasn't very good. This is much better. Yes, it can be destroyed fairly easily, but we don't see as much spell or trap card destruction, but we probably should see more with Labyrinth and stuff still doing so well. Either way, a really good card that has a Super Poly Searcher? Yeah, that's really good. And then you have a way to summon Yubel, you have a way to banish, you have a way to get back banished cards, you have a way to destroy cards. It does everything you need. And then the last card we have is Eternal Favorite, which I believe is Yubel basically hugging Jaden, like at the end of the series. I think that's what it's a nod to. Continuous Trap. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of the following effects of this card's name once per turn. Special summon one Yubel monster that is banished or in your graveyard. Neither player can activate cards or effects when it is special summoned. If you control Yubel, discard one card and send this face-up card from your spell or trap card zone to the graveyard. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as material, including a Yubel monster. Yeah, basically this is another way where it's like, okay, I have a free Yubel, really any form, I guess, really, and I have another Super Poly, a themed Super Poly, in this trap card. That's pretty ridiculous. Think about having this one, so you could basically have 3 Super Polys, 3 of this, which I kind of doubt they're going to run 3 of this one, probably like a 1 of or 2, and yeah, you could just take your opponent's field and go, okay, new monster for me, and do some serious burn damage too with that new fusion. It seems like a great card and something very powerful for the archetype too, so that one, is also very scary. So yeah, what do you guys think about this new support? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you even like Yubel? For me, again, I like the GX villains. I do hope eventually we get, you know, support for the Darkness guy at the end of GX, which was Season 4 we didn't get in English, but I would still love to see actually something for him at some point. But I still really like Yubel, and I like Sartorius, and I want to see stuff for both of them. So Yubel, that's at least one checkbox filled. Let's see if we get Sartorius next. I think he'll be part of some kind of light duelist pack or something. But either way, really excited to see this, and it looks like a deck I definitely want to trap for myself. A little bit more niche. Like, I don't necessarily think it's going to be, like, tier 1, but I think it's going to be pretty good and a lot of fun to try out. So let me know what you guys think. Of course, thank you for watching, especially if you made it this long. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that kind of stuff. Helps out tremendously, and of course I will catch you guys later. See ya.